were, go under the name Bokot Nation, had some really, really, really good results. I think the highest result in the Japanese tournament area cup ever. So that's really, really big.
Yeah, that is really big. And on the side of Melee Nation, Ice, I wanted to point out too, actually did used to be on FT Win. So that is something that I always think about because
Okay.
Ice did used to be the backline.
You want to talk about Melee Nation? Then let's talk about Mango coming through. $169.69. I'm going to read this out and maybe I'll get shouted at, but Nintendo can suck on my balls. Shout outs to Mango. I agree.
Mango.
Mango. No. We'll keep that out. But thanks so much. And also a big shout out to $50 from, is that Jam Stunner or I Am Stunner? I'm going to say it's Jam_Stunner. $50. Thank you, Splatoon community. #free melee. And also, shout outs to everybody that has donated so far. We've not been able to read out every single one because there is way too much. There's way too much support for us to go through literally everybody. We wouldn't be commentating. We'd be reading lists of the amazing people that are supporting us. So thank you so much to every single person that's donated to us.
Yes, thank you so much. We're trying to make sure that we can read them all off because we want to make sure that we shout all of these amazing donations out for this event. This is just so amazing.
And sorry, there has been a name adjustment. Southern Lights is Melee Lights now. So, we're getting the Melee's point there. And we got every team in this tournament does have the Melee-based names. Honestly, FT Wave Dash was one of my favorites. I liked that a lot when I read it. But yeah, so we're going to have Melee Nation versus Melee Lights. So that's going to be hard to get around in my head when we get into the game. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see all these teams bring out as well. Melee Lights being a team with some players on there I recognize. Not every single one, but I will say that Legend is a player that, when I've played with him previously, has brought out some pretty interesting weapon picks from time to time. So we might see some more unconventional stuff potentially going to this next set, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, so since I was able to play against Melee Lights yesterday, they came with an actually very aggressive comp. They had tons of aggression that they were bringing forward. We're gonna have to see what they bring to the table today when we watch them in this set. And yeah, I mean, SS Nolan plays Kensa Pro, Splattershot Pro. Legend, I agree with you, just plays random weapons. Happy, Gray, and Grape are all very well-known players also, very strong players, and with the aggression that I was against them with yesterday, I can see this being actually a very good set.
I would definitely say that Melee Lights, kind of thinking about their weapon picks, will be a team that are less heavy on the painting side. They're probably going to want to play very, very aggressive before the enemy team has any chance to paint. Because the thing is, it's not like you can't play without heavy painting weapons. You just need to be able to shut down the enemy team and suffocate them before they have a chance to take any of the map control. Because map control doesn't just come from shooting the floor. It comes from walking up and taking the map, So if you are controlling the entire map, you're going to have the map control that comes with it.
Yes. Yeah, painting around the map is definitely very crucial. Aggressive weapons too, they will be able to paint a lot faster, so that's totally going to come into play with that map control, with getting specials, everything above. And if Melee Nation is going to be bringing Ice to the table today as a player, then we're going to have to see if having Ice on the team as a backliner, is going to help them out or not.
Yeah, it would definitely be interesting. I think that we'll most likely see it be flipping between Ice and Kentetsu changing out between each other, because Tetsu playing the Bamboozler, Ice then playing, the Charger and more long-range backlines. I feel like we're not going to see that on the same team composition. Unless Tetsu's going to, switch to one of his, more unconventional and interesting weapons. We might see the Kenza Gluga come out. That'd be really interesting to see if that can work out today. And so yeah, we'll have to see, but I don't think we'll see them at the same time. So we'll have to see what they go for. Something like Wahoo World Splat Zones, big long-range map. I'm definitely expecting to see Ice on, the more conventional long-range backline role.
Yeah, just like in that first set game that we watched on Wahoo Splat Zones, we saw Biscuit, who usually plays Nautilus, opting to play the heavy splat link for that range. So that's something that definitely comes into play for this map and mode in particular.
And so I can squeeze some in before the set will start. We have Chase the Code, $50 executional challenges made me and I thought it was asterisks, it's actually quotes. Executional challenges made me accidentally donate $50 to the cause. Hashtag free Melee, hashtag free Splatoon. Sorry, my mind is dead. But Chase the Code, thank you so much. We then have unholy underscore $69 for Splatoon and Smash. That's another nice. That's nice. That's nice.
That is very nice. Thank you so much, you guys, for those donations. One thing too, I was actually thinking about, so the Team Melee Nation, when they play in their scrims, which scrims are when teams get together and practice for these, Ice has been playing not Charger. So we are going into this match here, and it looks like Ice is actually not on the roster. And both teams coming out with, actually Gray on the side of Melee Lights coming out with the Chargers. So it's switched around here. It looks like Melee Nation is the team with no backline this time.
Yeah, Melee Nation playing a very aggressive and not too paint-heavy comp. So again, they're going to be the ones that want to be suffering and just taking map control by walking into you and not letting you take the map. Right now, we do see that they got an initial pick. They will be trying to move forward right now, but that Charger sight line, it just puts on so much pressure right now. Without even getting a snipe, you're just making people not want to walk in front of you, which will allow you to then walk forward to retake the zone. Inkjet right now is going to come and try and find some pressure off this, but not quite finding any picks. Right now, it's a pretty slow game between these two teams, Rissa.
It is a decently slow game here, as both teams are playing this very carefully, trying not to get a complete wipe on their side, trying not to go down here, as we see 2 go down on the side of Melee Lights and 1 down on the side of Melee Nation. So right now the zone is back in control of Melee Nation, and they have no penalty, and so their zone penalty is gone. They are counting down here, and now it's up to Melee Lights here to try and get back into the zone.
It is, but an income has popped from Melee Nation, which will allow them to go aggressively, especially with these missiles. You see, they're just walking off zone, and they're just walking into their spawn. They want to suffocate this team, as I said, and they're going to be doing that right now. It looks like Legend did drop down, try and find a pick, but luckily managing to do it. That's going to be Bagel going down. Only 3 people left alive, but it does get traded over by Chara. But now it's just going to be only 2 people alive from Melee Nation left alive. Legend walking forward with the inkjet is going to try and push people back, and it's most likely going to be the zone flip, but getting it down to 24 points, that's very strong start from Melee Nation.
That is a very strong start. Definitely a start that you want to have going into a Splat Zones map here. Now, Melee Lights has no penalty, and the zone flipped back in the favor of Melee Nation. So, you know, Melee Lights here has to figure out how they can get back in. I saw them last time when they tried to get back in. They tried to all get their specials ready to push back in. But the aggression that Melee Nation is bringing to the table is really something that looks like Melee Lights is having a hard time dealing with.
Melee Lights are having a hard time, and they're going to need to make it good now. The Ink Armor and Bomb Rush will allow them to walk forward and try and take some control, especially with the Beyond Bomb. They will maybe be able to flip this over, but no, it looks like the paint control is still enough to keep it in favor of Melee Nation. However, their main paint to the mini splatling does go down now. This is probably going to be a zone flip. Very nice snipe will allow Melee Lights to take this control. They're going to walk forwards down and try and take people out, because last time they didn't take out the few last people. They just walked forwards and retook it immediately. So they're going to want to try and keep Melee Nation, in check in their spawn right now.
Yeah, they're going to want to try and do the same exact thing Melee Nation did to them. So we're seeing them pushing up here, even Gray on that splatter scope, trying to get in a position there to push up to get some picks, but is going to be forced back by those missiles that came out from the side of Melee Nation. So right now the zone is still in control of Melee Lights, though 2 are down, and the last 2 members tried everything they could to defend the zone, but were called out there, and the zone is now back in the favor of Melee Nation.
Melee Nation have control of the zone, but not only that, they have 2 specials online already, Rissa. Considering that, they're going to have a very nice time defending here, considering they're pretty much on the same pace to get the specials as Melee Lights do. So it's going to be a pretty even fight, and that's going to make it even harder for Melee Lights to get in with all this control that Melee Nation have right now. I'm saying Melee a lot. Booyah Bomb is now being popped as well as Bomb Rush, and they're going to move forward and try and take this zone, but they don't actually get the control. Legend just walked forward to try to find the pick, but the baller popped in a panic to keep Chara alive, but that doesn't matter with a very nice inkjet shot on the side. It's now a 3v3 situation, but luckily Chara does able to take out the inkjet, and they will move forward and keep the zone. Only the junior player left alive, and Melee Nation take out the first game, asserting Melee team name dominance with a knockout.
That was a really cool, because both of the teams were constantly working together to both get their specials ready. But as soon as, Melee Lights would use all of their specials, Melee Nation had all of theirs ready at the same time, like you were saying. So those defensive specials really came into play there to really help out Melee Nation.
They did, Rissa, and that was a nice game one. I've got to say, we didn't really mention it, but I was happy to see the Cake Luger come out because that was something we saw Tetsu and, Chara being on a team together previously in Tassel. We saw them try out that strategy with the Cake Luger playing that supportive role. And it worked out okay sometimes, but it definitely didn't work out, to the extent they would have liked it to. Today, we're seeing it work really, really nicely there. I feel like having that torpedo plus the fizzy bomb was so much pressure. Again, those being sub-weapons, torpedo will just hunt you down until you destroy it. And fizzy bomb just exploding 3 times and painting so much. The chip damage with both of those combined was so strong. And I can imagine the frustration from Melee Lights trying to drop down from that ledge with that amount of chip damage being produced, Rissa.
Yeah, chip damage can be so deadly, especially with a torpedo and a fizzy. I mean, that's just something you're not even able to really focus on playing almost. You're just trying to avoid those sub weapons. So, yeah, those definitely came into play for that match.
But on Makamart Rainmaker, I'd say, okay, sub-weapons are important on Rainmaker, but it's definitely a different style of thing, right? Because what we saw on Splat Zones was these kind of chip damage sub-weapons come into play, where they painted a lot, they put on a lot of pressure, they annoyed you to try to drop down, and it helps you control the map. With Rainmaker, I definitely feel like we're going to see, maybe they're going to just prove me wrong and play whatever they want to play, but I feel like overall, you'll see a more conventional bomb come out, like a Splat Bomb. Explodes after a certain amount of time, it throws where you go it, and the reason is, you throw it on that Rainmaker shield, it explodes instantly. So you can really, kind of blow it up in your favor really quickly, and that's going to paint the map for you when you do that. So definitely going to see, I feel like, a few more conventional bombs coming out from a mode like Rainmaker. Not only that, but you can just, throw it at the Rainmaker when they're pushing. They're fantastic. Bombs are fantastic in Rainmaker.
They are. That single bomb can definitely just stop the Rainmaker carrier in an instant. So those are really going to come into play here. As we see both of the teams come out with their weapons. On the side of Melee Lights, looks like a very similar comp to what they had before. And then on the side of Melee Nation, they are going to go ahead and have Bagel come in with that Nautilus. I like that.
This is Bagel's weapon. He invented the Nautilus, and he wants to show us why today. Gonna be trying to move forward, but his team does go down. It looks like an even situation in mid, but it's definitely Melee Lights with the control. Still a bit of a stalemate here. Bagel, though, coming out of nowhere and taking out that charger. Very beautifully played, but a bit too far, and Legend will move forward and take it, and that's actually gonna be the first fight going in a good favor to Melee Lights, but I mean, Melee Lights on the side right now. There wasn't a dominant fight win, Rissa, and it gets shut down immediately with some beautiful burst bomb rush coming out from DJ.
Yeah, that was a really great burst bomb rush there from DJ, along with the armor that their teammates were able to give them. So great defensive plays here from the side of Melee Nation as they are going to go ahead and get in the position to grab the Rainmaker and start pushing it. They have the Rainmaker. They know that they don't need to rush this necessarily, but Gray here going to go ahead and just put a stop to that with that amazing snipe there.
That was a nice snipe. That was a nice snipe. I don't care what anyone says. And they're going to be moving forwards now. Thanks, Matt. Unfortunately, picking up a bit too early. Might get taken down, but no. 2 members on the mid that were of Melee Nation do get taken out. The Stingray right now going to try and find people from across the map, and they do. Only 1 member alive to stop this push. DJ's going to need to come up huge, but he doesn't. That's going to be Melee Lights moving forwards and getting it down to a 35-point mark. Rainmaker's crazy. It can still go in Melee Nation's favor, but that is a nice push, Rissa.
Yeah, for Rainmaker, it can change in an instant. So this is a very good starting push for Melee Lights to have on the board within the first, 2 minutes of this match. So that's really good because now it's making it that much harder for Melee Nation to be able to get the lead and get in a position to push the Rainmaker. So right now, we're seeing both teams have all members up. Looks like there's someone in mid there behind the Rainmaker. So Melee Lights able to stop the Rainmaker, and there's just trades from members of both teams happening back and forth here as the Rainmaker is kind of stuck in this awkward position.
I was really worried that flank play wouldn't work out, but it looks like it actually did. It provided enough for distractions, and people had to turn around, people had to deal with him, and that allowed everyone to move forward to their specials and take control of the Rainmaker. Push shut down, and that's going to be going to the, the second half of the game. Melee Lights have full control right now. They have a lot of paint set up. They have a strong lead. They're going to be feeling confident right now, but they're going to need to charge up these specials to match the ink armor that's coming out right now for Melee Nation. Going to be making them that much harder to splat.
Yes, it is going to be making it that much harder for them to splat as one is down on both sides here. Bagel going to go ahead and go down by the Rainmaker. Like we were talking about, the Rainmaker itself is a weapon, and we saw it in use there, getting that pick on Bagel. So right now, it's kind of just a stalemate in mid. Both teams are back and forth, you know, hoping one or the other can get the picks that they need. Neither team has full specials ready, so it's kind of just a lot happening back and forth. As I say that, 3 go down on the side of Melee Lights here as Melee Nation is taking the Rainmaker and gonna push it left.
But here comes the Stingray, infamous in Splatoon. Goes through every wall, goes across the entire map, and will take you out if the aim's good enough. And that's going to be 2 taken out with the Stingray. Push shut down. But it looks like DJ is trying to prove me wrong. Keeping it going, getting a super jump in. But no, he is left alone. Okay, he will be taken down. I thought we were going to have some crazy plays come out. But Melee Lights keep control, and they go forwards, and they take mid. They've got the bomb rush, they've almost got a bomb rush ready, but Legends going all the way forward, a bit too far there maybe, and it will allow Melee Nation to now have a man advantage moving on to mid.
Yeah, and for Rainmaker too, I love that Melee Lights has grabbed the Rainmaker. You know, they don't necessarily need to push it, but keeping it out of Melee Nation's hands is really good because that is going to make it that much harder for Melee Nation to get in a position to get it. As it looks like there's a complete wipe on the side of Melee Lights here. I think that Melee Nation here is getting in a position to try and get a push in. They need to play this carefully as we're going into the last minute of this match.
Only a minute left. Melee Nation need to come out big, but that inkjet on the side angle seems to be doing the trick. There's only 2 left alive, but they rush a bit too early. They will get taken out. Melee Nation could keep this push going, though. That's what they do. They pop this Rainmaker, and they're going to try and go forwards with it, but Melee Lights still have control. It's going to be them having the advantage with a 4v3, but right now, they're just waiting. They're waiting for their teammates to jump from spawn, and they move forward, and they take the lead by a point, by a point as they all go down. Melee Nation take the lead in the last 30 seconds of the game, and now Melee Lights need to come up big to try and do something about this. They have the bomb rush, they have the Stingray, and they need to win this engagement clean to try and reverse this game back in their favor. Rainmaker is crazy.
Rainmaker is crazy as we're going into the last 10 seconds of this match here. We're seeing that Stingray come out from Gray. We're seeing Legend using that suction bomb rush here. Happy is in control of the Rainmaker. They need to play this so safely as we are in overtime. They are trying, looks like they're trying very hard to work together, but Chara here with this rapid blaster coming up on the top side here and pushing them back into mid. 2 are down though on the side of Melee Nation.
That was a clutch pick at the end by Chara. That was looking scary. Players on Melee Nation were going down. I thought I was going to lose my lungs, but Chara does close it out, taking the game 66-65, Rissa. 66-65. Wow. That was unbelievably well played by Melee Nation. Taking it slow on the top left. They didn't want to just drop down and lose themselves too early. In this game, you can actually super jump to your teammates. It's kind of like a teleport, but they're going to know that you're going there. They stand there, they allow their teammates to jump in, they take that control on the top left, and then they move forwards and they take it by a point. I feel like if you're Melee Lights, sorry, I'll let you go. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I feel like Chara was the MVP there. He was the one who snuck that Rainmaker there to get the lead by 1 point. He was the one who grabbed it and snuck it in there. And then he was the one who also stopped Melee Lights from pushing it at the end. Whew. That was a journey.
I feel like if you're Melee Lights, okay, you're kicking yourself, you know, in the shins. You let the ball drop there when it was so close to being in your court. However, you went so close with a top competitor this tournament. You can't feel too bad going into what would need to be their reverse sweep to turn this around. I feel like looking at a game like that, you can't say it's unwinnable for Melee Lights at all. You can't say that at all. However, I feel like this is always the case in the reverse sweep. For some reason, the evil map deciding gods decide to do this. This is definitely going to be the hardest map to break through if they want to make it happen. Anchovy Games Tower Control, definitely going to be a map that I feel like, again, Melee Nation are going to do well on. They have Chara, who's, favoring the Kenza Rapid Blaster today. This is, if you're going to play on any map, I feel like this is the map you play it. It's so strong here. So it's going to be a hard first map to break through. But if they do it, then I feel like Melee Lights has some power to go through and make the reverse sweep happen.
I agree. Just like you were just talking about, I mean, if that game that we just watched was that close, then there's definitely the potential for a reverse sweep from Melee Lights. Those players are strong players. They know what they're doing, and I'm sure that they're going to try and regroup here and get in a position to try and take this game.
And hopefully they will. So sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I just got distracted by my own brain. But yes, it will be a game that will potentially be close going into this one. We're going to see if Melee Lights can take it up, but it's going to be a hard first one. It's going to be a really hard first one.
Yes, it is. And really quick here, I wanted to just read off a couple of the donations that we were able to get. So, really quick here, let's see. Mr. Good to donated $5 with the comment, I left Splatoon because of uni, but for this, I'm happy to return once more. What's up, Splatoon community? Also, Matt, you're sexy. That's what it says.
Oh, Mr. Good, Mr. Good, thank you. Mr. Good's a legend. I met that lad. Been there. Sorry, I'll take it through the next donations after having my ego stroked very nicely by Mr. Good. Sorry. Word from above, it's going towards almost 13,500. We're $2 short. So this prize pool is expanding rapidly, Rissa, and we're only on the second set of the entire thing. We're not even close to grand finals, and it's only expanding thanks to these people. Again, gonna do some more shout outs. The Arab Samurai coming through with $100. I can't believe they put Melee and Splatoon in jail. Free my people now. We now have Epsilon M, $69. Hashtag Furry Meow. Oh, Furry Meowly. So they're trying to say free Melee and then they're bringing cat. I don't think that. I'm not thinking that.
You read that and not me.
Oh, is this? Are we replaying this game? Or what's going on here? Oh, no, this is the third game of the series. I thought it was the second game. Sorry. This is going to be the game. We're hopping right into it. Melee Nation right now looks like they're trying to take first control of mid. It's put into a 3-3 situation, but they do eventually take that advantage, taking out the other player. Armor is popped, which is probably just going to try and prevent the snipes coming through, but they jump back with Stingray. They're going to be ready to use that at a moment's notice when they need to defend this push, Rissa.
Yeah, Stingray here, as we see the Stingray coming up from Gray there, is really, really helpful for stopping the tower, specifically on this map and mode. And as we see that Stingray allowed their teammates to push up through that and get 3 down on the side of Melee Nation. So Melee Lights here able to push up back into mid very strongly, try and get in a position here. That looks like they're going to go ahead and use their specials, use that aggression. They're having Armor, a Bomb Rush, and a Booyah Bomb come out here as they're going to work to get past this first checkpoint.
They used a lot of specials there, but they didn't quite find the value, but they're finding to. They take out the Hydra player. That's important. Backline being taken down means there isn't that long-range presence, so they can start moving in. Ends up player getting taken out too. It's only Chara and DJ left alive to try and defend this push right now, and they're moving up aggro. Nolan taking out another. It's looking so good for Melee Lights right now. A Boo up on Pop, trying to find more pressure, and it's going underneath the 30-point mark, and it still looks like Melee Lights have control of this, and as I say that, they all get taken out by a bomb, and it's only the Splashmatic getting a few extra points right there. If it goes to 28, then he's the MVP, but that's a really good push to start things off for Melee Lights.
Yeah, that is a great push from Melee Lights there. I mean, now that means that Melee Nation is going to have to get the tower down to 27 at least to get the lead here. So that's a very strong push that they're going to have in. And right now we're seeing people from Melee Lights being able to come back from spawn. Looks like they're flanking around. They're taking all angles of this map here, left and right, and just pulling out so much aggression.
They're pulling out a lot of aggression, and that's going to leave 2 going down. Bagel does make it out. You know, flexing his third spotting of the day right now, normally seems to be a Nautilus player, is on that Hydra and does get out with the armor, which will allow his team to push back forwards as they try and go to this push. Bomb Rush Pop, though, trying to keep them away, and it will take a lot of control of that top left area. That top left area, controlling that is crucial for defense, so turning that is very good as they keep pushing it down. Hydra play now taking out is going to be big. That's 2 going down, and Melee Lights can definitely take this further. It's a 2v2, it's only the time, and that's going to be a white Brisser going into the last 20 points of the game.
That's a complete wipe on Melee Nation here as that Stingray coming out from Gray, just helping to solidify, keeping them in their spawn. And at the last point, it looks like that's a complete wipe. So not only is that just an insane push from Melee Lights to have there, again, that's making it that much more difficult for Melee Nation for this map, because now they're going to have to get a complete KO. They're going to have to get the tower down to 0 if they want to take this.
Exactly, and it can happen. We've seen them turn games by a point, but you definitely don't want it to start with your teammate getting picked in mid. They do, however, get one in return. That's going to be a trade, and they're going to try and move forwards off this. They still have the armor, but it does look like it's finally worn off. But the Hydra does have another one at the ready. Looks like Charles going to go back to mid and try and take tower, but the K-Pro is going to challenge him right there and actually take him out. Very nice flank from Nolan. Even going down, that was big because you removed the baller and another on the side angle. We just see all these players from Melee Lights just staying on side angles, sharking, waiting, and moving out and taking them out one by one until they have the control to move move forward and take the map. That's what they're going to do. Going so aggressively will get the trade, but trades benefit you. During the last minute, you got it down to a point. Take the trades for days.
Yeah, definitely trades for days. Trades, though, for Melee Lights here, I feel like it's a good thing, you know, because that's just making it that much more difficult for Melee Nation to get in a position to get their specials. So, I mean, just so much trades. Melee Nation not able to get on the tower, really. Looks like finally, though, they're going to get that pick on Gray, the Stingray player on the side of Melee Lights. And now they're going to start pushing up. They are on the tower, and they are going to use their armor there to try and make sure that they don't die here as they start trying to push the tower.
They're pushing, but they don't have the control. They don't have all 4 members. It's looking Melee Lights favored, and they do get another. It's a 3v3, so we're going to need something crazy, but no, that's a wipe in the last 10 seconds. And unless a miracle happens, that's Melee Lights taking the first game in the mountain that they have to climb to try and take this reverse sweep.
Yes. Wow. And we were talking about a reverse sweep.
Yeah.
It could happen. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, as I said, I felt like this was going to be the hardest map to break through, but I mean, they just kind of went through it with what looked like ease from my perspective, Rissa. So that's got to be boosting confidence for them. That's got to be inspiring a lot of confidence going into the next 2 maps. We're finally going to see the 4th mode of Splatoon, by the way, Clan Blitz Inkler Art Academy. So before we talk anymore, I'm going to give you the ultimate TLDR. Imagine it's like there's 2 baskets on each side of the map. They're kind of more close to the center than you would imagine a Rainmaker, but they are the sort of position of a Rainmaker goal. Scattered around the maps are a bunch of tiny clams. You pick them up and you get 10, and you get a big American football-looking power clam. That will allow you to break open the basket, and it will score 20 points. When it's open, you can then score these little clams, 3 points per, and take down that, 100-point mark, as always, an 100-point mark in Splatoon, and you chunk it down, point by point by point. It's like a mini game of American football where you have a lot of little footballs that you also... No, that's not a good comparison. I'm not going to try and make that comparison. You'll see when we play. You'll see when we play, but we'll have to see if Melee Lights can take it. Again, it could be another difficult map, but I said that last time, and I was wrong, Rissa.
I know. And that's something about, these game modes, these players. Anything can happen, and we're seeing just that, and I wanted to note too, Melee Lights, when I was playing them actually yesterday, that's the exact map and mode that they took us out on. So, yeah. I was having flashbacks of that one.
Having flashbacks of that one, that's unlucky. We've all been there. We've all been there. We're just waiting on these teams to ready up, potentially, finding those last weapon picks that they think are the, what do they think is the play to come through? What do we want? Potentially giving each other the pep talk. People that have been in these sort of team-based situations, they know the kind of pressure right now. You're worried if you're Melee Nation because you were looking really good, and then I feel like it's like this. For game 1, they look dominant. Game 2, it's tied pretty much. Last game, they got dominated. You don't like that progress. If things keep going that way, then you've lost a series in a reverse sweep fashion. You want to make it grand finals and fight FT win, so they're definitely going to want to stop that from happening. The pressure's building.
Yes. I mean, the momentum that Melee Nation had going into those first 2 games was really, really there. We could see it, the first game definitely had tons of momentum behind it, but it seems like, it's slowly turning in the favor of Melee Lights. But for Clan Blitz, especially Clan Blitz, I feel like anything can happen, almost even worse than Rainmaker. What was that?
I was going to say, I'd debate that one. I'd be happy to debate that one for a while.
Okay, we'll debate that later.
We'll debate that later. We're going into Clan Blitz on Clan Blitz on Ink Blot Arts Academy, and we're going to see a very Melee Nation comp coming through. Very similar to the first game right now. In fact, if not identical to the first game's comp, it is, and another aggressive comp coming out from Melee Lights. Again, these teams like their aggression.
Yes, they do, and we're seeing Bagel back on that mini here with the missiles. Gonna go ahead and pop the missiles right away here. Both teams had a few specials ready as we're seeing that suction bomb rush come out from the side of Melee Lights, and Legend with that suction bomb rush is gonna go down here. Bagel pushing up with their teammates here. 2 are down on the side of Melee Lights here within the first 30 seconds of the match. So this is pretty dominant, a dominant start from Melee Nation as they're working to get control of the map, make sure they call out where everyone is, and work together to start this push that we see Chara trying to start.
Yeah, they're going to try and start the push, but they are 2 down. It's the map's looking Melee Nation favored, but I think Melee Lights are gonna flip this quickly. Right now, just sitting on the side angle, trying to find some pressure, but gets taken out before the ball can even be popped. There's a tight window, and he did get taken out. That's 3 members going down, and that could be Melee Lights moving forwards, and in another game they're gonna need to be dominant in. They're starting with that dominance, Rissa.
Yes, they are, as Nolan goes ahead and makes a power clam, scores that, and their teammates followed up with just a few clams there to continue the push a little bit. Now, it looks like, you know, they're trying to figure out if they can get back in to get clams in, but played it safe there, backed up, didn't get any other clams in, just had a starting push there. So that was a good, you know, starting little push there from Melee Lights and working to keep the aggression on their side, but 2 go down now on the side of Melee Nation as Melee Nation starts taking control back of mid.
And that can be the problem with just kind of sitting there and waiting. Eventually someone can spot you out, and then it's like, what were you really doing there? You were just sitting. So then that was really, really well done for DJ to spot that out, take them out, call them out, and take mid. They can now start moving forward, but the bamboo, you just see how much pressure it has. Being the longest range weapon in the game, while also having that level of, in this particular lobby, you know, and having that sort of fire rate, is going to be putting on so much pressure. A Booyah Bomb clearing plat, not allowing Melee Nation go forwards, will assist taking out Bagel. That's 2 now going down, and that's Melee Nation going to be forced to back up. They don't really have any idea of a push right here. It looks like they're going to try and jump back, and Happy just comes through with a random power clam, gets more points through, and it looks like Melee Light's going to try and push this, Rissa.
It does. They do have 2 that went down there, so that was very sneaky. That's one of the moments where Clam Blitz can just get, you know, anything can happen when people just run up, just like we saw there, and score in a power clam. So that is almost like a distraction tactic if you can play it off right. They weren't able to get any other clams in with that, but it was a very good distraction for Melee Nation to push them back a little bit and stall their momentum.
Yeah, they're going to try some momentum, but here comes Melee Nation's momentum coming back at them. They have 2 power clams. That's going to be 40 points instantly if they can score them both, and with this much control, they might be able to, but a very nice flank. Once again, these flanks just come through, and they find 2, potentially looking for that 3rd now. Legend finds 3 splats in that, and going to be a great defense, but in the midst of things, I didn't realize the lead got turned. That's going to be Melee Nation now in the lead of the game, but it's not a strong lead. A power clam's going to flip it instantly, and Happy's coming through, and the lead gets flipped again. Melee Lights having control, and they got a lot of clams going through. If this power comes through, it's going to be huge, and going down to 8.52. Only 1 clam needed to take this game, and they're going to find it, and they do. Melee Lights taking it to game 5.
Wow. Happy was just sneaking in there. Not only that one push that Happy did in the middle, but that last one just really helped solidify that. And I love that Happy just ran in there with that junior, got that power clam in, and then their teammates didn't stall at all. They felt the momentum that Happy started. They all followed up, and that's something that's so important at this high level Splatoon, is you can't hesitate. If something is right, if something lines up, and your teammates are able to follow up, you have to do it. And just like that, it won them the game.
Melee Lights are looking dominant right now, Rissa. They're looking like they could take it, but it is back to Splat Zones. Splat Zones is the mode we saw first. Splat Zones is the mode where Melee Nation are the ones that look dominant. That was the mode where they were the ones in control of the game. They were the ones in control of everything, and they were just... I tried to make it a list of 3, but there is another thing to say. They were just in control of everything. And going back to that mode is going to feel good for them. Even if you're at this pressure point where losing the game after this, streak of losing will take you out of the tournament. However, again, you're going back to the mode you won on, that you looked so good on. So I feel like they're probably going to be happy with this.
Yeah, that is a very good point to make. So yeah, Melee Nation, we played Splat Zones already in this set, and Melee Nation took that set. They are the ones who won that set. So, is this going to be something that they're more comfortable with, seeing as they won the Splat Zones map already? Is Melee Lights going to continue this momentum that they have started as we go into this game 5? It could go either way.
It could go either way, indeed. I'm excited to get this game going. I want these teams to press their A buttons so we can watch the gameplay, Brissa, because this is gonna be some good stuff. I can already anticipate it. See, we're hyping this up, and then it's just gonna be one team dominating the other, and we're gonna be cry and be sad and go home. But no, that's not gonna happen. There's no way. But I would like. I would like to say this is another map, seeing as a Splat Zone's Wahoo World, where sub spam is gonna be a big factor. I feel like, you know, if you're able to just stand back and just control the zone by painting it over and over and getting that chip damage in, that can be so important for teams. And I feel like it's definitely a map that can come into play, especially because once you've pushed past that zone, once you're trying to, you know, take control of their their kind of drop down area, their core underneath their spawn, if you can spam bombs and just completely control that area from above, it can put on so much pressure and it can do so much work.
Yeah, it really can. I agree with you completely. Subs are going to be very crucial for this. You know, like we were talking about before, if teams can work to get all of their specials ready to get pushes in on this map and mode in particular is going to be really, really helpful because it can be really hard to get back in if your team has been completely wiped without all of those specials. So that's going to come into play as well for this.
Definitely. And I'm excited to see this take place. We're just waiting. I presume it's only going to be a few more seconds for these teams need to, you know, decide their weapon picks, lock in what they're playing, lock in their strategies, and see what we're going into. So not much longer now. I'm excited to see what we come with. I think the Kenza Gluga on this map pick that we've been the Kenza Gluga weapon pick that we've been seeing from Tetsu will actually be strong on this map. I've always been a bit of a I would say naysay. I've been a bit worried about the pick in the past, but I would say that the Fizzy Bomb spam on this map in particular can do a lot of work. However, I'm going to eat my words as he plays Junior.
Yeah, Tetsu gonna go ahead and use Junior for this round. Both teams have a Junior player. Very, you know, same weapons that we've seen both of these teams bring to the table already. As we go into this match here, Melee Lights is gonna take immediate control of the zone, but 2 go down. So it looks like Happy here is gonna have to back up, get in a position to wait for their teammates. And this is that part I was talking about where once the other team has control of the zone, you have members down. It's going to be very important how you get back into the zone. You're going to have to play this very carefully.
Getting back in could be hard, but 3 specials is going to help you. DJ right now is cooled out. They know he's up there, and he's just trying to put a lot of pressure on the top, which you can really do. Using that bomb rush to take him out is a very smart idea to just, you know, take the snipe yourself. You want to be up there. It's called the snipe for a reason if you're a Charger player. Going to be painting the zone right now, try and find some picks, but this engagement's taking a long time, Rissa. Melee Nation have taken a ton of points with any engagement starting, but it finally does. It's a 3v3, and 2 members will actually go down. It's only the Junior player left alive for Melee Nation, and Melee Lights do take it, but again, it was a slow engagement. It took a while to get going. So now for one team fight, you let the enemy team get 50 points.
Yeah, that for Splat Zones is actually a lot of points to have on the board. So Melee Nation sitting very pretty right now with those 49 points on the board here. But now Melee Lights here doesn't have any penalty, and they're actually counting down. It's getting very close here as Melee Nation is going to try and get in a position to get back into the zone.
Yeah, they're going to try and get a position. The lead does flip to 48, but probably not going to come into a massive factor in the overall game. They do manage to take out another, but it looks like they're still playing Melee Lights around. Probably backing up and just trying to get a quick regroup so they can go in as soon as possible. Just waiting on the Splash Master player and charging up their specials. They already have the armor, they have that Booyah Bomb, but it's going to be matched by the specials. We see the armors and we see the missiles ready on the side of Melee Nation. They're popped early. Let's see if they can find the value they're going to need to get to really, you know, make the use of these specials.
Yeah, they were able to get the lead. That was very important for them, but now the lead has shifted back over to, the zone has shifted over back to Melee Lights side, and 1 is down on the side of Melee Nation. So now it's kind of just a lot of back and forth here. The scores are very close here. You know, members are going down back and forth. It's a lot of back and forth right now.
There's a lot of back and forth, but it will be Melee Nation taking that control. Bagel going very aggressively. One paints everything, but Nolan calls it out again. Nolan's been playing so well. I feel like a bit of an unsung hero. He's done a ton this set overall, and is going to be hoping to do more going into this engagement with the Ink Armor. It is popped early. They won't find all the vibe, but they finally find the second pick. They find the third, and they will be taking the zone. That's going to be a wipe, and that's going to be Melee Light taking control. 1 does get taken out by a bomb at the end, so it will be hard to keep this defense up. But if they can take it below 44, that's when, you know, it could be looking really good for them. They've already got the Booyah Bomb to get the defense, but not much else. But finally, they do have their 4th member. It is going to be a 4v4 team fight coming up here, Rissa.
Yes, and Melee Lights penalty is gone right now. It looks like they are going to go ahead and get the lead. Their lead is on Melee Lights side now as they are all worked up in positions to defend here. They are using their specials very defensively here as Melee Nation is using their specials to try and get back in. This is just so close here as we go into the last minute of this match.
Only a minute left, and it does look like it's still going to be a tight fight, but no, okay, Melee Nation take it, they stop them ticking down that timer, and they retake control of the game. They're getting down below 17 though, that's a lot, and the enemy team already has one of their bomb rushes. They could charge up their second, that could be big, it could easily flip the zone, but the penalty is taken off, the points are ticking down, and Melee Nation are in position to stop this push.
They really are. Melee Nation has no penalty right now. They know that they need to not die here. They need to play this safely. As we see one go down, DJ's going to go down on the side of Melee Nation. Melee Nation is still working very hard to control the zone. And it's looking so close here as now the zone has flipped back into Melee Light side.
There's so many painting specials on the side of Melee Lights, and they are able to take that control. Another one goes down to a bomb, though, and there's 40 seconds left. Melee Nation can still turn this game. Don't get me wrong, but Melee Lights have some nice control right now. Baller popped early from Chara. Wants to take the control up here, wants to move down to zone and start painting it, but needs to stay alive here. Is going to look for that charger, but rush down immediately, potentially going a bit too aggressive, a bit too early, and now there's not much time at all, Rissa. That penalty points are knocked off. There's only 1700s of a second for them to break through, and it's going to be Melee Light Nation going for a desperation push, but it's going to be hard. But they do start flipping the zone. There's only a few points left, and they find the picks. DJ right now finds what he needs to. He finds that pick, but he needs to take control of the zone. He can't let it flip over in the other favor, and there's only 10 seconds. Paint needs to come through. It's going back and forth, but we see the bomb rush come through, but Legend finally moving forwards and taking out the menace that is DJ. Gonna be trying to fake out more, but that's gonna be it. Melee Lights don't let Melee Nation take any control, and they complete the reverse sweep, going on to the grand final to take on FD Wave Dash. That's going to be Melee Nation going down to the third place match.
Wow. That's
Wow.
all I can say right now. I mean, both teams there were painting over each other, just desperately trying to get the zone, and that was probably one of the best games I've watched in a while. That was amazing.
That was an amazing game, Rissa. I mean, what did we get there? We got an upset. We got a bracket. Sorry. Okay, we got an upset. We got a reverse sweep, and we got a down to the nail, down to the. I don't know what to say. Down to the skin of your teeth. Game 5 right there between these two teams. The Melee dominance here.